I filmed my father in bed with my fiancée, then destroyed their lives with proof. Previously in part 1, I proved my fiancée was sleeping with my father. While they planned to frame me with fake abuse, I recorded everything, then sent it to HR, his board, and both families. My mom revealed 2 years of her own receipts. And my brother schemed to ruin me. Cops showed up. Careers collapsed. But right when I thought it was over, 2 bombs dropped, a deep fake of me, and an email, "Ready to meet your real father?" from the same investor I just reported to the FBI. This is part 2, where Plan B falls apart, the smear machine fights back, and my mother tells me why my birth date is 5 days off. The laptop sat there like a bomb waiting to detonate. Mom stepped back. "Open it." "The FBI will want to know what he sent." "Open it." I moved to Franklin's laptop. The man who'd raised me but wasn't my father stood frozen, watching his life dissolve in real time. The password prompt blinked. December 15th. My real birthday. I typed 121,594. Wrong password. "Try the year first," Mom said. 941215. The screen unlocked. The email from Richie contained no text, just attachments. 3 files. The first was a photo from 1994. Mom at a restaurant, younger, radiant, laughing at something off camera. Across from her sat Antonio Richie, 30 years younger but unmistakable. His hand was on hers. She was wearing a dress I'd never seen, jewelry that wasn't her style now. "That was before I married Franklin," she said quietly. "We dated for 6 months." "You dated a mobster?" "I didn't know what he was then. Your grandfather had just died, left me some money. Antonio was charming, established, seemed legitimate." The second photo, Mom and Richie at what looked like a hospital. She was holding something wrapped in blankets. "A baby." "Me. He was there when I was born?" "He insisted. Said he had rights." Franklin finally spoke. "I knew. When we got married, I knew you weren't mine biologically. But I loved your mother, and you needed a father who wouldn't destroy you. So you just pretended? I raised you. That made you mine." The third file was a video. Recent. This week recent. I clicked play. It was our apartment. My and Brooke's apartment. The angle was from our bedroom, high corner viewpoint. Hidden camera. In the frame, Brooke, alone, sitting at my desk. She had my theatrical makeup kit open. The professional grade 1 from the workshop. She was applying bruise colors to her shoulder with practiced precision. "Day 12, she said to the camera. "Documentation for insurance." Insurance. There was that word again. She pressed harder with the purple shade, creating the perfect impression of fingers gripping too tight. Then she switched to yellow-green, aging the bruise, making it look days old. "He grabbed me here last night," she continued, performance voice activated. "When I said I was too tired. He doesn't accept no anymore." She was creating evidence. False evidence. Of abuse that never happened. The video jumped. New day, same setup. This time she had her thigh exposed, painting what looked like impact bruises. "He pushed me into the coffee table. Said it was an accident but his eyes. He enjoyed it." Jump cut. Franklin was there now, sitting beside her. "You need to cry more," he coached. "The police respond to emotion. I can't just cry on command. Think about something sad. Your dog dying. Whatever works." They practiced her victim statement. Franklin correcting her body language, her word choices, her timing. "Don't say hit, say struck. Don't say angry, say rage. Make them see a monster, not a man." I felt sick. The video had more. Kevin appearing, reviewing their plan. "Once we file the report, he's done," Kevin said. "Domestic violence plus the Richie connection equals prison time." "The Richie thing is separate," Brooke argued. "No, it's perfect. Violent boyfriend taking mob money? They'll bury him." The timestamp showed this was filmed 2 weeks ago. Before I'd found any evidence. They'd been preparing to destroy me preemptively. The video ended. Mom was typing on her phone, rapid fire. "I'm sending this to my lawyer." "There's another folder," I said, noticing an icon on the desktop labeled insurance. Inside, dozens of videos. Brooke's entire performance archive. Different bruises, different stories, escalating severity. One showed her practicing a limp. Another had her scratching her own neck to simulate defensive wounds. But the worst was a document. Police statement, Draft 4. It detailed 2 years of fabricated abuse. Dates, incidents, injuries. All fiction, but backed with the fake evidence she'd been creating. Photos of bruises with timestamps. Recorded arguments that were just her yelling at an empty room while recording. Jesus Christ, Mom breathed, reading over my shoulder. Franklin had collapsed onto the stool again. I didn't know it went that deep. BS, I said. You're literally in the videos coaching her. I thought it was just insurance. In case you found out about us and got violent. Have I ever been violent? Ever? In my entire life? Silence. But you were ready to let her destroy me anyway. More files. Financial records showing Richie had been funding this operation. Payments to Brooke through shell companies. Payments to Kevin. Even payments to Franklin, disguised as consulting fees. He bought all of you, I said. Not me, Mom said firmly. He tried. Offered me money to come back to him 20 years ago. I declined. Why? Because I knew what he'd become. What he was capable of. I found another video. This one was different. Professional quality, multiple angles. It was a bedroom, but not ours. Luxurious, expensive. The timestamp was from 3 years ago. A woman entered the frame. She looked exactly like Mom but 30 years younger. That's impossible, Mom said. The woman turned to the camera. Her face was mine. My exact features but feminine. Same eyes, same bone structure, same everything. Hello, brother, she said to the camera. By the time you see this, you'll know the truth. I'm not a deepfake. I'm not CGI. I'm real. My chest tightened. Dad told me about you. Our father. Antonio Richie. How Mom kept you and gave me away. How she chose Franklin's stability over our father's ambition. Mom grabbed my arm. That's not, I never had a daughter. This is fake. But the woman continued. I'm reaching out because Dad's dying. Pancreatic cancer, stage 4. He is maybe 3 months. And there's something you need to know about Grandfather's estate. Grandfather. Mom's father. The trust requires both biological heirs to claim it. $50 million, sitting in probate for 30 years. Dad needs us both to sign. He's trying to secure our future before he dies. This is manipulation, Mom insisted. Classic Richie. The woman held up documents. I have the DNA tests. The adoption records. Everything proving who we are. What we are. She stepped closer to the camera. Kevin and Brooke? They were just tools. Franklin? A placeholder. Even your precious workshop was funded initially by Dad through shell companies. He's been watching you, protecting you, investing in you. No. That couldn't be true. Meet with us. One dinner. Let him explain everything. After that, you can walk away with 25 million or walk away with nothing. Your choice. The video ended. I searched for more files, found a folder labeled DNA. Inside, lab results from a testing facility. 2 samples compared. 99.97% sibling match. Sample A, tagged with my social security number. Sample B, tagged with a woman's. Christina Richie. How did he get my DNA? I asked. Mom was pale. The investment meetings. He probably took a glass, a cup, something you touched. And this sister? I don't know. I swear I don't know. Franklin stood up suddenly. I do. We both turned to him. There was a twin, he said quietly. You were twins. But the girl. She died at birth. Or that's what they told us. What? The hospital record showed twin birth, 1 death. We never questioned it. Why would we? But if she lived, then Richie took her. Somehow. Raised her as his own. My phone rang. Unknown number. I answered on speaker. Hello, brother. The same voice from the video. I'm watching the news. Quite the family drama you've created. Who are you? Christina. Your sister. Though I suppose half the family didn't know I existed. You're lying. Check the workshop. Under your main table. Dad left you something before you had him arrested. Richie was at my workshop? Last week. While you were in Philadelphia playing detective. The call ended. I looked at Mom, At Franklin. Go, Mom said. We need to know. I grabbed my keys, then stopped. The FBI. I'll handle them, Mom said. Go find out what he left. As I headed for the door, Franklin called out. Son. Don't call me that. Whatever Richie claims, whatever's true biologically, I raised you. That has to count for something. I looked back at the man who'd taught me to ride a bike, who'd been at every school play, who'd also been ready to let his girlfriend destroy my life with false abuse charges. It counted. Past tense. I left them in the wreckage of our garage and drove toward my workshop, knowing that whatever Richie had left would change everything again. My phone buzzed at a red light. A text from the unknown number. Christina. A photo attachment. I opened it and nearly crashed the car. It was security footage from my workshop, timestamped last Tuesday, 3 a.m. It showed me at my main work table. Except I'd been home in bed with Brooke last Tuesday at 3 a.m. The person in the footage looked exactly like me. Moved like me. Even wore my clothes. But it wasn't me. The figure looked directly at the camera and smiled. Then held up a sign, if I can be you this easily, imagine what else I can do. I pulled over, hands shaking for the first time since this started. The person in that footage had my walk. My slouch. The way I rolled my shoulders when thinking. Details even Brooke wouldn't notice, but I did. My phone rang. Mom. The FBI just called. They want you at the workshop. Now. Why? Someone reported a break-in. Said they saw you there at 3 a.m. Tuesday. Multiple witnesses. The trap was elegant. If I denied being there, I looked guilty of something. If I admitted it, I was lying because I'd been home. I'm heading there now. Be careful. And record everything. The workshop was surrounded by police cars when I arrived. Not FBI yet, just NYPD. Detective Morrison was there, Jerry's other son. This family was everywhere. We need to talk, he said. About? The break-in Tuesday night. 3 witnesses saw you here. I was home. In bed. With Brooke. Brooke Winters? The woman just arrested for conspiracy? Right. My alibi was worthless. Check my phone location. Check my car GPS. I wasn't here. We did. Your phone was home. But you were seen here. We have footage. He showed me his tablet. Street camera footage. Me, walking into my workshop at 2:47 a.m. Clear as day. That's not me. It looks exactly like you. It's someone pretending to be me. Morrison's expression said he'd heard that before. Let's check inside. The workshop looked normal at first. Fabric rolls, mannequins, design tables. Then I saw it. My main work table had been cleared. On it, arranged like evidence at a crime scene, documents, photos, USB drives. And a note in handwriting I didn't recognize, for my son. The truth about everything. AR. Don't touch anything, Morrison said. But I was already photographing everything with my phone, sending it directly to Mom's lawyer. The documents were originals. Birth certificates, 2 of them. Twin births, December 15, 1994. Baby A, male. Baby B, female. Both alive. Hospital records showing the girl was transferred to a different facility within hours. Adoption papers with signatures. Mom's signature, allegedly, giving up parental rights. This is forged, I said. How do you know? Because my mother would never. I stopped. Looked closer at the signature. It was perfect. Too perfect. Mom's signature from 30 years ago, which would have been different from now. My phone buzzed. The unknown number. Christina. Check USB drive 3. You'll want to see this before you share anything else. Morrison was talking to other officers. I palmed the 3rd USB drive, pocketed it. I need to use the bathroom, I said. Make it quick. In the bathroom, I plugged the USB into my phone using an adapter I always carried. Designer habit, always have dongles. 1 file. Video. I opened it. It was Mom. Current day Mom, not archival footage. She was in a room I didn't recognize, talking to someone off camera. He can never know about Christina. The deal we made with Antonio. If it comes out, we lose everything. But he's going to find out eventually, another voice said. Franklin. Not if we handle Kevin and Brooke properly. Make them the villains. Let the scandal consume them. And Antonio? He's dying. 3 months, maybe less. Once he's gone, Christina won't have any proof. She has DNA. DNA proves siblings, not the story. We stick to our version. The girl died at birth. Hospital error. Tragic. The money? 50 million is worth protecting. When Antonio dies, if Christina can't prove her identity legally, it all goes to our son. The only documented heir. The video ended. I stood in that cramped bathroom, processing. Mom had known. She'd known everything. The investigation she'd been running wasn't just about Franklin's affairs. It was about controlling the narrative. My phone rang. Mom. Where are you? Morrison says you disappeared. Bathroom, I managed. Don't trust anything you find. Richie's a master at forgery. Was she warning me or testing me? Mom, did I have a twin? Silence. We'll discuss it later. Focus on the immediate problem. She hung up. I walked back out. Morrison was bagging evidence. We need you at the station, he said. Am I under arrest? Not yet. But someone using your face committed burglary. We need to sort this out. I need to make some calls first. One call. I didn't call Mom. I called the only number I could think of. Christina answered immediately. Smart boy. You found the USB. Is it real? Real enough. But that's not the important part. Then what is? Check your email. I just sent you something. Morrison was getting impatient. I opened my email. New message from C. Ritchie. Subject, your real inheritance. Attachments included financial documents going back decades. Grandfather's will, the trust documents, investment portfolios. But also something else, medical records. Your grandfather knew, Christina said through the phone. He knew Mom gave me away. That's why the will requires both heirs. He was trying to protect me. From what? From her. From Franklin. From being erased. Morrison took my phone. Time's up. As we walked to his car, I saw Mom's Mercedes pulling up. She got out with 2 people I recognized, her lawyers. My client won't be answering questions, the lead attorney said. He's not under arrest, Morrison replied. Then he's free to go. There's the matter of the break-in. You mean the alleged break-in my client denies, while he has an alibi? His alibi is compromised. By the arrest of a witness? That doesn't eliminate the alibi, it just makes it complicated. While they argued, Mom pulled me aside. What did you find? I looked at this woman who'd raised me, protected me, lied to me. Evidence. Of what? Everything. Her face didn't change, but something in her eyes shifted. We need to control this narrative. Like you've been controlling everything else? I've been protecting you. From my sister? She grabbed my arm. You don't have a sister. Whatever that woman claims. The DNA matches. DNA can be faked. Video can't. Not the one of you and Franklin discussing the 50 million. The inheritance. The cover-up. Now her face changed. You don't understand the full situation. Then explain it. She glanced at the lawyers, the cops, the gathering crowd. Not here. Tonight. The house. Everything will make sense. Mom. Trust me. One more time. Please. My phone buzzed in Morrison's hand. He looked at the screen. You have a text from someone named Mallory. Says it's urgent. Mallory? The fake assistant who'd been spying on me. She's in Miami, I said. Morrison read the text aloud. Check your workshop. Kevin left you something. We already found Richie's package, Morrison said. Kevin is my brother. Different package. Mom's face went white. Kevin's in custody. Apparently he planned ahead. Morrison made a decision. Back to the workshop. All of us. The convoy returned to my workspace. This time, we searched differently. Not the obvious places but the hidden ones. Found it in the ventilation shaft. A hard drive wrapped in plastic. Morrison wanted to bag it, but my lawyer intervened. That's my client's property in his workshop. Unless you have a warrant. Morrison backed off. I connected the drive to my laptop. One folder. If you're reading this, I'm probably arrested. Classic Kevin. Inside, hundreds of files. But the first one made everything else irrelevant. It was a recording from Dad's office. Not Franklin's, Antonio Ritchie's. Recent. Maybe a week old. Kevin sat across from Ritchie, both visible in frame. "The plan's working perfectly," Kevin said. "She thinks I'm broke. He thinks I'm desperate. And your parents?" "Franklin's an idiot. Mom's harder to read, but she's focused on protecting her precious heir." "You mean your brother?" "Half-brother. And after this week, he won't matter." Ritchie leaned forward. "You understand what you're asking?" $25 million. My half of what should have been mine if Mom hadn't hidden Christina. Christina gets the other half. Fair. She is my actual sister. My blood froze. Kevin and Christina were full siblings? Ritchie smiled on the recording. "Your mother thinks she's so clever. Keeping one twin, selling the other. She didn't sell. $50,000. 1994. Cash. To disappear the girl and never speak of it." "No. That couldn't be." "But you kept her," Kevin continued. "I kept what was mine. Raised her properly. While your mother played house with Franklin and called his son legitimate." "His son. Not their son." "So we're clear," Kevin said. "You get your reunion with your real son. Christina and I split the inheritance. Everyone else burns." "Agreed." They shook hands. The recording ended. I looked at Mom. She was crying. Actually crying. "Kevin's not your son?" I asked. She shook her head. "He's Franklin's. From his first marriage. I adopted him when we married." "So Christina is your full sister?" "My daughter. The one I gave up." "Sold. You sold her." "I was 23. Alone. Antonio was dangerous. I thought she'd be adopted by a normal family, not by her biological father?" Morrison cleared his throat. "This is all fascinating, but we have bigger problems." He pointed to his tablet. Breaking news alert. Wall Street costume designer exposed in abuse scandal. The story was Liv. Photos of Brooke's fake bruises. Her victim statement. But twisted to make it look real. "This went up 20 minutes ago," Morrison said. "From an anonymous source." I checked my phone. Messages pouring in. Clients pulling contracts. Workshop sponsors demanding explanations. Then I saw the source code at the bottom of the article. The digital signature hidden in the metadata. It was published from my IP address. My computer. 10 minutes ago. While I was standing here with cops. "Someone's in my system," I said. Another notification. Bank alert. Large withdrawal approved. I opened my banking app. My business account, the one with the workshop's operating funds, was being drained. Real time. $1,000 increments every few seconds. They're stealing everything. Mom grabbed her phone, called someone. Freeze all accounts associated with my son. Now. But it was too late. The account hit zero. $340,000. Gone. My phone rang. "Christina. That's for making me wait 30 years to exist," she said. "Now, ready to discuss terms? Or should I continue destroying your life piece by piece?" "Give me one reason not to have the FBI trace this call," I said. Christina laughed. "Because I'm calling from your phone." I checked the screen. She was right. The incoming number was mine. "Cloning numbers is amateur hour," Morrison said, listening in. "Check your actual phone, brother." I pulled out my phone. It was calling Morrison's number. Active call. But I wasn't touching it. "Remote access," I said. "You're in my phone. I'm in everything. Your laptop, your cloud, your entire digital existence. Mallory did excellent work for those 6 months." Mallory? The fake assistant who'd been Kevin's plant. "Speaking of which," Christina continued, "you should really check your workshop's back room. Kevin left you more than just that hard drive." Morrison nodded to his officers. They moved toward the back. "I wouldn't do that," Christina said through the speaker. "Not unless you want to explain the substances." "What substances?" "The ones Kevin planted. About 50,000 worth of product. Right next to the falsified book showing your workshop has been laundering money." Morrison held up his hand, stopping his officers. "You're bluffing," I said. Check the third shelf, behind the vintage fabric. Blue container. I walked to the back room, everyone following. Found the container exactly where she said. Inside, wrapped packages of what looked like heroin. That's been there for 2 weeks, Christina said. Since Mallory's last day. She even has photos of you near it, though you never noticed. Morrison immediately stepped back, called for substance division. Here's the fun part, Christina continued. The substances are real, but the paperwork is better. Kevin created an entire shadow operation. Fake invoices, client lists, even security footage of deals happening here after hours. Using my face, I said, understanding. Our face. We're twins, remember? Same features, just different presentations. Mom's lawyer was frantically making calls. Morrison looked like he wanted to arrest everyone. What do you want? I asked Christina. What I've always wanted. Recognition. My birthright. Our father's legacy. Richie's legacy is crime. Richie's legacy is power. And in 3 months when he's dead, that power needs somewhere to go. So take it. I can't. Not without you. Grandfather's will, remember? Both heirs or neither. I moved away from the substances, from the cops, found a corner of my workshop that still felt like mine. Let's say I believe you. Say you really are my twin. Why all this? Why not just approach me directly? I did. 3 months ago. My blood chilled. What? The investor meetings. I was there. Watching. I even spoke to you once. I thought back to those meetings with Richie. There'd been a woman sometimes. Quiet, professional, always in the background. His assistant, I'd assumed. The brunette. Wig. But yes. I sat across from you for hours, listening to you discuss designs, dreams, plans. Watching you be the legitimate son. The one who got to exist. That's not my fault. No. But you benefited from it. Mom stepped forward, grabbed my phone. Christina? Silence. Then, hello, mother. The word was poison. I'm sorry, Mom said. For which part? Selling me? Hiding me? Or pretending I died? All of it. Bit late for apologies. What will it take to end this? Everything you stole from me. The family, the name, the life. You can have money. I have money. Richie made sure of that. I want acknowledgement. Fine. We'll acknowledge you. Publicly. Press conference. DNA tests. The whole thing. Mom looked at me, then nodded. Done. And the inheritance? Split equally. No. I want his half too. She meant mine. That's not happening, I said. Then the substances get discovered. The money laundering becomes real. The abuse story gains traction. Your life ends. Morrison cleared his throat. We're recording all of this. Extortion, blackmail. Recording what? A family discussion about inheritance? Good luck proving I planted anything. She was right. Kevin planted the substances, not her. The digital attacks could have come from anywhere. I need time to think, I said. You have 1 hour. Then I released the second video. What second video? The one where you're dealing substances. Or rather, where I am, wearing your face. She hung up. Morrison looked at the substances, at me, at the situation. I have to call this in. Give us the hour, Mom said. Please. I can't sit on evidence. You can if it might be planted evidence. Due diligence. 1 hour to investigate before you potentially ruin an innocent man. Morrison's family knew ours. The connections ran deep. He nodded slowly. 1 hour. Mom pulled me outside, away from everyone. We need to find Mallory. She's in Miami. No, she's not. That was misdirection. She pulled up her phone, showed me a screenshot from an hour ago. Airport security footage. Mallory, landing at JFK. My investigator has been tracking her since she ran. Why didn't you say? Because I needed to know how deep this went first. We got in her car. She drove while making calls, arranging things I couldn't follow. Where are we going? Kevin's apartment. He might be in custody, but his place isn't a crime scene yet. How does that help? Mallory was living there. Off the books, but my investigator confirmed it. Kevin's apartment was in Murray Hill. Dorman building, decent security. Mom had a key. How? I've been watching him for months. He's my son too, even if he'd betrayed everyone. The apartment was pristine. Too pristine. Like a stage set. He knew he'd be arrested, I said. He planned everything. We searched methodically. Mom knew his hiding spots from years of being his mother. Behind the bathroom tile. Inside the guitar he never played. Under the floorboard that squeaked. That's where we found it. A laptop, still logged in. The screen showed an active remote desktop connection. To my computer. This is how they're controlling everything, Mom said. I disconnected it. Immediately, my phone buzzed. Christina. That was a mistake. Show yourself, I said. Face to face. Let's end this. Mallory first. What? She's at the workshop. Has been all along. You walked right past her. My stomach dropped. Where? The panic room. I'd forgotten about the panic room. Built into the workshop years ago when the neighborhood was rougher. Hidden behind a false wall, soundproofed, with its own ventilation. We raced back. Morrison was still there, his hour almost up. There's someone in my panic room, I said. He drew his weapon, motioned for backup. The hidden door was behind a costume rack. I'd never told Mallory about it, but she'd found it anyway. Morrison yanked it open. Mallory was there. But not alone. A man sat beside her. Older, gaunt, hooked to a portable oxygen tank. Antonio Ricci. The man I'd reported to the FBI. The supposed crime boss. My biological father. He looked up at me with eyes exactly like mine. Hello, son. Morrison's weapon stayed raised. Ricci, you're under arrest. For what? Visiting my child's place of business? For the substances. The extortion. All of it. Ricci laughed, which turned into coughing. I'm dying, detective. Pancreatic cancer. What are you going to do, arrest a corpse? Mallory hadn't moved. She was staring at me with something like guilt. Tell them, Ricci said to her. I'm sorry, she said to me. It was never supposed to go this far. Tell them what? I demanded. Ricci pulled out a document. Mallory isn't my niece. She's my daughter. Another sister. Because apparently everyone was related to everyone. Which makes her your half-sister, he continued. I looked at Mallory. Really looked at her. The features I'd never questioned. The familiarity I'd attributed to months of working together. That's why you were so good at pretending, I said. You weren't pretending. The connection was real. The job was supposed to be simple, Mallory said. Watch you. Report back. But then I actually liked you. Liked the work. Liked the life. So you helped them destroy it? I tried to warn you. So many times. The questions about Brooke, the suggestions to check your finances. You never listened. She was right. She had tried. Kevin found out who I really was, she continued. Blackmailed me. Said he'd tell you everything if I didn't help. So you chose him. I chose family. Ricci struggled to stand, oxygen tank hissing. Enough. We're all family here. That's the point. We're not family, I said. You're strangers who share DNA. DNA is everything, he wheezed. It's the only truth that matters. Morrison's radio crackled. Substance division en route. ETA 2 minutes. The substances aren't mine, I said. Prove it, Ricci said. I don't have to. You're here. In my hidden room. With the person who had access to plant them. I'm a dying man visiting his son. She's an employee. Neither of us put substances here. Kevin did. Kevin's in custody. Has been all day. Couldn't have planted anything. The trap was perfect. Everyone had alibis except me. Morrison's radio crackled again. But this time, it wasn't dispatch. It was Christina's voice, coming through the police frequency. Check the news. Now. Morrison pulled out his phone. Breaking news alert. FBI raids fashion designer's workshop, major substance bust underway. But the FBI wasn't here. This was being reported live from a workshop across town. My competitor's space. The footage showed agents carrying out boxes, evidence bags, the same blue containers I had here. That's impossible, I said. Christina's voice came through every phone simultaneously. I just saved you, brother. The substances were planted at both locations. I had the FBI redirected to the right criminal. You're welcome. What criminal? The one Kevin was actually working with. Your competitor, Enzo Castellani. Check Kevin's laptop again. The real books are there. Mom was already pulling up the files on Kevin's laptop. She's right, Mom said. Kevin was running substances through Enzo's workshop, not yours. Then why plant them here? Richie smiled. To give Christina leverage. To force this conversation. The substances in my workshop were decoys. The whole thing was theater. Substances are here, Morrison said. Tell them to stand down, Richie said. Or the real evidence goes live. What real evidence? Richie pulled out another phone, showed me the screen. It was a video of Mom, from 30 years ago, in a hospital room. She was signing papers while a nurse held a baby. Another baby was in the crib beside her. This is the adoption, Mom said quietly. But I heard what she wasn't saying. Saw what the video really showed. Money changing hands. Mom counting bills. $50,000 in cash. You sold your daughter, I said. To her father. Mom protested. To keep her safe. Safe from what? Before she could answer, Richie collapsed. Full collapse, oxygen tank clattering. Mallory screamed, dropped beside him. Morrison called for medics. But I saw Richie's hand, the one hidden from Morrison's view. He was holding a trigger. A dead man's switch. If I die here, Richie gasped, everything releases. Every document. Every video. Every secret. Let it release, I said. Including the one that destroys you completely. There's nothing left to destroy. He smiled through his pain. Did you ever wonder why your grandfather really set up the trust that way? Why it required both twins? I stayed silent. Because he knew the truth about Franklin. What truth? He's not sterile. Never was. That was a lie your mother told. Mom went white. Which means, Richie continued, Kevin isn't Franklin's son from a previous marriage. The implication hit me like a train. He's yours, I said to Mom. She didn't deny it. Kevin is your biological son. Which means, he's your full brother, Richie finished. And Christina's full brother. All three of you. Same mother. Same father. He coughed blood, still gripping the trigger. The question is, he wheezed, what will the world think when they learn Mommy gave away one child, kept two, and lied to everyone about who belonged to whom? The medics burst in, but Richie waved them off with his free hand, the other still gripping the dead man's switch. Nobody touches me until we're finished talking. Morrison had his weapon drawn but nowhere to point it. You can't shoot a dying man holding evidence. Kevin is my son? I asked Mom, needing to hear it again. She nodded, tears streaming. I was young. Antonio and I had broken up, but then one night. Franklin never knew. The timing worked out. He believed Kevin was from his first marriage because I told him that's what everyone needed to believe. So Franklin's first wife? Never existed. Complete fabrication. My entire life was built on lies stacked on lies. And Christina? Twins with Kevin. I kept him, gave her to Antonio. I thought splitting them was safer. Safer from what? Richie coughed, spraying blood onto his oxygen mask. From me. She knew what I was becoming. What I'd do with children who had legitimate claim to both families' fortunes. Mallory was checking his pulse, her hands shaking. Dad, please. Let the medics help. No. Not until he understands. Understands what? I asked, why your grandfather wrote the will that way. He knew about all three of you. Knew the truth. The requirement for both twins, it wasn't about Christina and you. It was about Christina and Kevin. The room spun. But I'm in the will. As a backup. If one twin died, the remaining twin would need the third child, you, to claim. Your grandfather was protecting all of you from me. Morrison's radio crackled. Second location secured. Castellani in custody. Major seizure, enough to put him away for decades. See? Richie wheezed. I protected you. Destroyed your competition. Cleared your name. You destroyed my life. I revealed the truth. There's a difference. His phone buzzed in his grip. Christina's face appeared on screen via video call. Hello, Father. Princess. It's time. Time for what? I demanded. Christina's face was calm. Time to rebuild. All of us. As a family. We're not a family. We're blood. Kevin's in custody, but he's still our brother. Mallory's our sister. We can fix this. Fix it how? Mom stepped forward. There's a way. Legal adoption. Retroactive acknowledgements. I've had lawyers working on it for years. You've been planning this? I've been preparing for this. In case it ever came out. Richie's breathing was getting worse. The fortune. 50 million just sitting there. With all three of you acknowledged, it splits evenly. Blood money, I said. College funds. Startup capital. Freedom. Mallory stood up. He's dying. Actually dying. Please. Morrison lowered his weapon. Let the medics work. Richie looked at me. If I let go of this trigger. Let it all release, I said. I don't care anymore. You will when you see the final file. What final file? He tilted his phone toward me. On the screen was a folder labeled OP. Original parent. Inside, dozens of documents. But the preview showed enough. Adoption records with my name. My actual adoption records. Franklin isn't your biological father either, Richie said. The world tilted. That's impossible. Mom collapsed into a chair. Antonio, don't. He deserves the truth. I'm Mom's son. The DNA tests show maternal match. You never tested against Franklin, did you? I hadn't. Why would I? Your biological father was Mom's first love. Before me. Before Franklin. A man named Christopher Thorne. Who? He died in a car accident when your mother was 3 months pregnant. She never told anyone. Let Franklin believe you were his when they married. I looked at Mom. Is this true? She couldn't meet my eyes. I was protecting you. From what? The truth? From feeling like you didn't belong anywhere. Morrison's radio erupted. We have a situation at the county jail. Kevin Bauer is demanding to speak to his brother. Says he has information about murders. What murders? Morrison asked. Through the radio, we could hear Kevin's voice, the ones that haven't happened yet. But will in about 10 minutes unless I talk to him. He's bluffing, Morrison said. Christina's face on the screen shook her head. He's not. Check your workshop's HVAC system. Morrison sent 2 officers running. What did you do? I demanded. Insurance, Christina said. Kevin insisted. Said you'd never cooperate without proper motivation. The officers came back pale. Devices attached to the gas lines. Timers showing 8 minutes. Evacuate the building, Morrison ordered. Won't help, Christina said calmly. The whole block will go. Kevin really outdid himself. You're insane. We're desperate. Dad's dying. Mom's been lying. You're about to lose everything. This is the only way to force a resolution. Morrison was on his radio, calling bomb squad. They won't make it, Christina said. But Kevin will disarm it remotely if you agree to terms. What terms? Family meeting. All of us. Public acknowledgement. Equal split of everything. Or you blow up a city block? Kevin blows it up. I'm just the messenger. Richie was fading, his grip on the trigger loosening. Mallory held his hand, keeping the switch depressed. Please, she said to me. Just agree. We can sort details later. I don't negotiate with terrorists. We're not terrorists, Christina said. We're your siblings trying to exist. Mom stood up, decision made. I'll do it. Public acknowledgement. All 3 children. Equal inheritance. Mom, no. It's my lie to fix. My children to claim. Christina smiled. 5 minutes left. Morrison had cleared the building except for us. This is insane. This is family, Richie whispered. I thought about everyone in the surrounding buildings. The businesses. The homes. The innocents who had nothing to do with our drama. Fine. Family meeting. But the bomb gets disarmed now. Christina looked off screen, typed something. Kevin agrees. Check the timer. The officers confirmed, timer stopped. Device appears to be disarming. Appears to be? It's Kevin, Christina said. He's thorough but not cruel. Richie's eyes were closing. Did we win? Nobody won, I said. We survived. That's winning. The medics pushed in, Mallory finally releasing the trigger. Nothing happened. Maybe there never was a dead man's switch. Maybe it was just another performance. As they worked on Richie, Mom approached me. I'm sorry. For everything. Sorry doesn't fix 30 years of lies. No. But maybe truth can start something better. Truth? Which truth? That I have no father? That my brothers are my brothers but also not? That you sold one child and lied about the others? That we're family. Messy, complicated, but family. Morrison interrupted. We need to process the scene. Everyone needs to give statements. After the hospital, Mom said, following Richie's gurney. Mallory looked at me before leaving. I really did try to warn you. You really did help destroy me. Both things can be true. She left with the medics. Morrison and I stood in my destroyed workshop. Substances that weren't mine but were. Family that wasn't family but was. Truth that kept shifting like sand. You want to press charges? He asked. Against who? Everyone? No one? Your call. My phone buzzed. Kevin calling from jail. I answered. Nice work, brother, he said. The bomb? Fake. Well, real but disarmed the whole time. Just needed you to believe. Why? Because Richie's actually dying. Christina's actually our sister. And Mom actually sold her. Some truths needed to come out. So you orchestrated everything? I helped. Brooke and Franklin were real. Their affair, the abuse plan, all that. I just added layers. Why? Because I've known the truth for 5 years. Found Mom's hidden documents. The adoption papers. The real birth certificates. The payoff. And you said nothing? I was waiting for the right moment. Then Richie got sick, reached out. Offered me a deal. What deal? Help reunite the family before he dies, get my share of the inheritance. That's it? Money? Not just money. Truth. Don't you get it? We're triplets. All of us. Born the same day, split apart by lies and fear. Triplets. The word hit different than twins. Christina's older by 12 minutes, Kevin continued. You're younger by 8. I'm the middle child who got to stay. Because Mom kept you. Because I look like Franklin. The only one who did. Made the lie easier. My phone buzzed with an image from Kevin. A document I hadn't seen before. 3 birth certificates. Original ones. All dated December 15, 1994. Same hospital, sequential medical record numbers. Baby A, Christina Marie. 3:47 a.m. Baby B, Kevin Michael. 3:59 a.m. Baby C, not named. 4:07 a.m. You never had a name, Kevin said. Mom didn't name you for 3 days. Couldn't decide whether to keep you. But she did. Only because Christopher Thorne's mother threatened legal action. Wanted her grandson. Mom compromised, kept you, changed your birthday, never mentioned the connection. So Christopher Thorne's mother, my grandmother, is alive? Very much so. And very interested in meeting you. Morrison tapped my shoulder, showed me his phone. Breaking news. Richie's dead, he said. Died in the ambulance. Kevin was still on the line. Did you hear that? Yeah. Changes everything. Without him, Christina has no protection. Mallory has no backup. And you have no biological father trying to claim you. Now what? Now we meet. All of us. Tomorrow. Noon. Mom's house. Why should I trust you? Because I just gave you everything. The recordings, the evidence, the truth. Check your email. I did. Files were flooding in. Everything Kevin had gathered over 5 years. The real story of our family. This gives me enough to destroy everyone, I said. Or save everyone. Your choice, little brother. He hung up. Morrison looked at me. You good? No. But I'm done for today. As I left my workshop, my phone rang. Unknown number. I answered. Is this Christopher Thorne's son? An elderly woman's voice, refined, careful. Who is this? Eleanor Thorne. Your grandmother. I believe it's time we met. Behind her voice, I heard another. Familiar but impossible. Is someone else there? I asked. Yes. Someone who's been waiting 30 years to meet you. A man's voice came on the line. Deep, measured, hauntingly familiar. Hello, son. That's impossible. Christopher Thorne died in a car accident. Christopher Thorne disappeared in a staged accident. But I've been very much alive. Watching. Waiting. And now that Antonio is dead, it's finally safe to come home. You're lying, I said into the phone. Christopher Thorne is dead. Has been for 30 years. Death was the only way to escape Antonio, the voice replied. He would have destroyed me for real if he'd known about you. How do I know you're really him? Your mother has a scar on her left shoulder. Shaped like a crescent moon. From when we went hiking in the Catskills and she fell. Anyone could know that. She sings when she thinks no one's listening. Always off key. Always Fleetwood Mac. That was specific. When she found out she was pregnant, she cried for 3 hours. Not from sadness. From fear. She knew what Antonio was capable of. Morrison was signaling me, they needed to process the scene. I walked outside, phone pressed to my ear. If you're alive, where have you been? Europe mostly. Different names, different lives. Your grandmother helped. She had resources Antonio couldn't touch. Eleanor Thorne came back on. We need to meet. Tonight. There are things you need to know before tomorrow's family meeting. How do you know about that? We've been monitoring everything. We had to be sure Antonio was really gone before revealing ourselves. Monitoring how? The same way Christina's been manipulating your digital life. We have our own resources. My phone buzzed with an address. Upper East Side. The kind of building that didn't advertise its existence. 1 hour, Eleanor said. Come alone. The line went dead. Morrison approached. You need to see this. He showed me his tablet. Social media was exploding. Videos were surfacing everywhere. Me dealing substances. Me in fights. Me in places I'd never been, doing things I'd never done. These are deepfakes, I said. I know that. You know that. But the internet doesn't care. Christina. She was making good on her threats. My phone rang. Her. Like the show? She asked. Call them off. Can't. AI generated. Self-propagating. Once it starts, it spreads itself. Then how do I stop it? You don't. But I can release the counter program. Proves they're all fake. Clears your name instantly. What do you want? Same thing I've always wanted. Recognition. Family dinner tomorrow. All of us. Including Christopher Thorne? Silence. That's impossible, she said finally. He just called me. He's alive. No. No, that's not. We watched him die. There was a funeral. Closed casket? More silence. If he's alive. She trailed off. Everything changes. The inheritance structure. The power dynamics. Everything. Scared? Concerned. A dead father can't contest custody. A live one can. You mean he could claim you and Kevin? He could claim all of us. As the biological father of record. I hadn't thought of that. Meet him with me, I said. Tonight. Let's find out the truth together. This could be a trap. Someone pretending? Like you pretended to be me? That's different. That was digital. This is someone claiming resurrection. Another video popped up on my feed. Me at a casino, betting stacks of cash. Time-stamped from last week when I was definitely in my workshop. Your deepfakes are getting more creative, I said. That one's not mine. What? Someone else is generating them now. Using my initial seeds but creating new content. Who? I don't know. The code's been hijacked. Morrison showed me another video. This one was different. It was Brooke, in a police interrogation room, confessing to everything. Admitting the affair, the abuse allegations, the plan to destroy me. Except Brooke was still in holding. This hadn't happened. Did you make this? I asked Christina. No. But whoever did has access to police station footage. Real backgrounds, perfect lighting. My phone buzzed. Kevin, from jail. You seeing this? He asked. The deepfakes? The war. Someone's fighting back. Generating videos that clear you while destroying everyone else. Who? Check the metadata. I downloaded one of the videos, check the file properties. Hidden in the code was a signature, CT 1994. Christopher Thorne. 1994. The year I was born. He's protecting you, Kevin said. Your real father. Or someone claiming to be him. Either way, they're on your side. Another wave of videos hit. Franklin confessing to embezzlement. Kevin admitting to the substance planting. Even Antonio Ricci, somehow speaking from beyond death, confessing to decades of crimes. This is insane, Morrison said, watching the feeds. We can't tell what's real anymore. That was the point. When everything could be fake, nothing could be trusted. My phone rang. Unknown number. You have 1 hour to decide, Christopher's voice. Meet me and learn the truth, or stay away and let the digital war escalate. Why should I trust you? Because I'm the only one not trying to take something from you. I just want to give you what was always yours. Which is your real name. Your real inheritance. Your real story. He hung up. Christina called immediately. Don't go. Why not? Because if he's real, if he's alive, he has claim to everything. The estate, the money, us. Maybe that's not a bad thing. Are you insane? We just got free of one father. You want another? I want the truth. The truth is that someone's playing a deeper game. These deepfakes aren't random. They're targeted. Strategic. She was right. Each video served a purpose. Destroying some reputations while rebuilding others. Come with me, I said again. I can't. I'm at the hospital. Richie's dead. But Mallory isn't. She collapsed. Heart condition we didn't know about. Stress induced. Another sister in crisis. Is she okay? Will be. But she's asking for you. Me? Why? Because out of everyone in this mess, you're the only one who didn't knowingly lie. I'll come after. No. Choose. The mysterious maybe father or your definitely sister who's definitely dying. Another manipulation. Another forced choice. Morrison's tablet lit up with alerts. The FBI was getting involved. The deepfake situation was being classified as a cyber attack. They're tracing origins, he said. This is about to get federal. My phone showed multiple missed calls from clients, reporters, colleagues. My life was being shredded in real time. Then Mom called. Don't meet him, she said immediately. You knew he was alive? I suspected. There were signs over the years. Money that appeared when we needed it. Threats that disappeared. Guardian angel stuff. And you never looked for him? I was terrified. If Antonio had known Christopher was alive. Antonio's dead now. His organization isn't. Christina isn't. The machine he built is still running. Then maybe it's time to break it. Or maybe it's time to run. All of us. Take what we can and disappear. Like Christopher did? He survived 30 years. That's more than most who crossed Antonio. Another wave of deepfakes hit. These were different. They showed me as a hero. Saving people. Donating to charity. Being the perfect son, perfect citizen. Someone's trying to rehabilitate your image, Morrison observed. But it felt wrong. Too perfect. Too clean. Christina texted, hospital. Now. Mallory's asking for you specifically. Then Christopher texted. From a number that shouldn't exist, that was disconnected years ago. My childhood home landline. Your mother's wrong. I didn't run from Antonio. I ran from her. Ask her about December 14, 1994. December 14th. The day before we were born. I looked at Morrison. I need to go. Where? I don't know yet. My phone rang. Video call from an unknown number. I answered. The screen showed a split image. On one side, the hospital room where Mallory was hooked to machines, Christina beside her. On the other, a dimly lit room where a man sat in shadow, only his silhouette visible. Choose, both sides said simultaneously. This is manipulation. Everything is, the shadow figure said. The question is whose manipulation you prefer. Mallory needs you, Christina said. She knows something. About Mom. About that night. December 14, 1994, the shadow figure said. The night your mother made a deal that destroyed 3 lives before they began. What deal? Both sides spoke in unison, the one that determines who you really are. The call split. 2 phones ringing. Hospital on one. Unknown location on the other. Morrison looked at me. Whatever you're about to do, you should know, the FBI just found something in their trace. What? The deepfakes. They're not coming from one source or 2. They're coming from dozens. Maybe hundreds. What does that mean? It means this isn't a family fight anymore. Other players are involved. People with resources. People with agendas. My phone buzzed. A text from a number that was just zeros. The war has started. Pick your side. Or be destroyed by all of them. Attached was a video. The final deepfake. Or maybe the first real one. It showed Mom in a room I recognized. The workshop. My workshop. But 30 years ago when it was something else. She was signing papers. Multiple documents. 3 men stood watching. Antonio Ricci. Franklin Bauer. And Christopher Thorne. All 3 of them. Together. Alive. The timestamp read, December 14, 1994. 11:47 p.m. 13 minutes before Christina was born. Before everything started. Or ended. The video had audio. Mom's voice, young but unmistakable. All 3 children. Split 3 ways. 1 to each father. No one gets everything. Everyone gets something. And if one of us breaks the deal? Antonio's voice. Then the war begins. The video ended. Morrison stared at his tablet. That's not possible. They couldn't all have been there. Unless everything I'd been told was a lie. Unless all 3 men had been playing a game that started before I was born. Unless the war Mom mentioned wasn't a threat. It was a prophecy. I stood in the wreckage of my workshop, holding a phone that kept revealing impossible truths. Play it again, Morrison said. I did. The video of 3 supposedly incompatible men, together, negotiating over unborn children like assets in a portfolio. The quality's too good for 1994, Morrison observed. This could be another deepfake. Or someone had better equipment than we thought. My phone rang. Mom. Whatever you just saw, she said immediately, it's not what it looks like. 3 fathers. 1 deal. You dividing us up like property. I was protecting you. From what? From each other. They were going to destroy each other. Antonio had connections. Franklin had institutional power. Christopher had old money. A war between them would have destroyed everything. So you Solomoned your babies? I prevented a bloodbath. By creating a slower one. Through the window, I saw news vans arriving. The deepfake story had gone mainstream. Where are you? Mom asked. Workshop. Leave. Now. Eleanor Thorne just filed an emergency custody petition. Custody? I'm 29 years old. Not for you. For the estate. She's claiming Christopher's paternal rights supersede everything. Morrison's tablet lit up with a legal alert. She's right. Petition just hit the system. I read it over his shoulder. Eleanor Thorne was claiming that as Christopher's mother and my biological grandmother, she had standing to challenge all adoption documents, all custody arrangements, and most importantly, all inheritance structures. She can't do that, I said. She can if Christopher's alive, Mom said. His death certificate was fraudulent. Makes every document signed after it potentially void. Including your marriage to Franklin? Silence. Mom? Including everything. My phone buzzed. Christina texting from the hospital. Mallory's awake. Says she needs to tell you about the 4th person. 4th person? Before I could respond, another text. Kevin from jail, check the workshop basement. Now. I have to go, I told Mom. Don't trust anyone. Including you? She hung up. Morrison followed me to the basement door. I rarely went down there, just storage, old equipment, forgotten projects. The light switch revealed more than dusty shelves. Someone had been living here. A cot in the corner. Portable stove. Laptop setup. Surveillance equipment pointed at the ceiling, my workshop floor. Someone's been watching you from below, Morrison said. On the desk, hundreds of photos. Me working. Brooke visiting. Dad stopping by. Mallory at her station. Every moment of the last 6 months documented. But also older photos. Much older. Mom, pregnant, at a doctor's office. The same doctor in multiple shots. Then photos of that doctor with Antonio. With Franklin. With Christopher. Dr. Marcus Webb. I recognize the name from the birth certificates. The fourth person. My phone rang. Unknown number. You found my observation post, a man's voice. Older, tired. Dr. Webb? The one who delivered all three of you. Who signed the death certificate for Christopher. Who falsified the adoption records. Why? Because your mother asked me to. Because I loved her. Another player. Another claim. Where are you? Close. I've been close for 30 years. Watching. Documenting. Protecting. Protecting from what? From the truth getting out wrong. It has to be revealed precisely or everyone dies. That's dramatic. Antonio had destroyed orders in place. If certain information emerged, certain people would be eliminated. Including you. Antonio's dead. His daughter isn't. His organization isn't. The destroy orders are still active. Morrison was photographing everything, building a case file. What truth? I asked Webb. Check under the cot. I did. Found a medical file, inches thick. Inside, DNA tests. But not the ones I'd seen. These were dated from birth. All three babies tested against all three fathers. The results were impossible. Kevin, 99.9% match to Christopher Thorne. Christina, 99.9% match to Franklin Bauer. Me, 99.9% match to Antonio Ritchie. We weren't triplets from one father. We were triplets from three fathers. That's biologically impossible, I said. It's extremely rare, Webb said. Heteropaternal superfecundation. 3 eggs, 3 fathers, 1 pregnancy. The odds. Astronomical. But not impossible. Your mother was active that month. The timing aligned perfectly. Morrison looked at the documents. This changes everything. Legally, each father has a biological child. Which is why they made the deal, Webb continued. Each got their biological child. Except they divided us wrong. On purpose. Your mother knew the DNA results. She deliberately gave each man the wrong child. Why? To maintain balance. If Antonio had raised you, his actual son, you'd have become him. If Franklin had raised Christina, she'd have inherited his weakness. If Christopher had raised Kevin. He did fake his death instead, because he figured it out. The DNA switch. He knew Kevin wasn't his, but by then the legal documents were signed. My phone buzzed. The hospital. Christina again. Mallory's crashing. If you want to say goodbye. Another manipulation? Or real crisis? Then Eleanor Thorne called. The invitation has been sent, she said formally. What invitation? Check your email. I did. An official legal summons. Not just for court. For a DNA testing session. Tomorrow. 9 a.m. All parties required. Me, Kevin, Christina, Mom, Franklin, Christopher. Christopher will be there? I asked. My son will finally claim what's his. Which is? You, of course. His actual biological child. The tests say I'm Antonio's. Those tests were falsified by Dr. Webb. We have the real ones. How do I know yours are real? You don't. That's why we're testing everyone. In front of a judge. With court-appointed technicians. Morrison's radio crackled. We have a situation at the hospital. Mallory Ritchie is coding. Real crisis then. But Eleanor wasn't done. There's something else. A codicil to your grandfather's will. Hidden until all three fathers were confirmed dead or present. What codicil? The one that reveals the actual inheritance isn't 50 million. My chest tightened. What is it? 500 million. The 50 was just a test. To see who would fight for it. That's insane. Your grandfather was many things. Poor wasn't one of them. 500 million. Split 3 ways, or winner take all? The codicil requires all biological relationships be verified. All 3 children acknowledged. And one more thing. What? A vote. The 3 children vote on who gets what. Majority rules. So 2 of us could freeze out the 3rd? Or all 3 could share equally. Your choice. Morrison was pulling me toward the door. The hospital. Mallory's dying. But Webb was back on the line. Don't go. It's a trap. What trap? Christina doesn't know Mallory's her full sister. What? Antonio had another daughter. With another woman. Around the same time. Mallory's not his niece. She's Christina's sister. Your half-sister. If she dies, her portion of Antonio's separate estate goes to Christina. Christina wouldn't. Christina doesn't know. But someone else does. Someone who needs Mallory dead. Who? The same person who's been generating the deepfakes. Who's been playing all sides. My phone lit up with another impossible call. The ID showed my own name. My own number calling me. I answered. My own voice spoke back, "Hello, brother." Kevin? Not Kevin. Not Christina. The 4th one. There is no 4th one. Check mom's medical records. 4 embryos. 3 implanted. 1 frozen. That's not possible. I'm 28 years old. Born from a surrogate. Raised by someone you'd never suspect. Who? The person who's been documenting everything. Who lived in your basement. Who delivered all of us. Webb? Dr. Marcus Webb. My adoptive father. Your biological brother. The phone went dead. Morrison stared at me. 4 kids? I looked at the medical files again. Found it buried in the technical notes. 4 embryos fertilized. 3 implanted. 1 cryopreserved. The frozen one was mine. The voice continued through my phone, though I hadn't answered a call. Antonio's and mom's. Making me your full brother. Where are you? Standing behind you. I turned. The basement was empty except for Morrison and me. Not there. The metaphorical behind. I'm wherever you're not looking. What do you want? To exist. To be acknowledged. To claim my quarter. Quarter? Of the 500 million. 4 kids, 4 shares. The will specifies 3. The will can be contested. If I prove I exist. Then prove it. Tomorrow. 9 a.m. I'll be at the DNA testing. How? You're not on the list. Dr. Webb is. He raised me. He'll bring me. Morrison's radio erupted. Mallory Ritchie pronounced dead. 8:47 p.m. Christina's voice came through my phone. She's gone. My sister's gone. But then Mallory's voice, clear and alive, not quite. The call turned to video. Split screen. One side showed Christina at the hospital, crying over an empty bed. The other showed Mallory, very much alive, in what looked like a private jet. Sorry for the deception, Mallory said. But I needed everyone to believe I was dead. Why? Because I'm not Mallory. Never was. She pulled off what I thought was her face. Prosthetics. Theatrical grade. The kind I'd recognize anywhere. Underneath was a face I knew but had never seen. My face. Our face. But on someone who wasn't Christina. I'm the 4th child, she said. The frozen embryo. The one everyone forgot existed. You've been pretending to be Mallory for 6 months? Longer. The real Mallory died 2 years ago. Car accident. I took her place. Why? To get close to you. To understand the family I was denied. Who else knows? Dr. Webb. He orchestrated everything. The pieces fell into place. Webb watching from below. The fake assistant who knew too much. The deep fakes that came from nowhere. So tomorrow? I asked. Tomorrow, everyone finds out the truth. All of it. And then? Then we vote. 4 children. 500 million. And 1 question. What question? Who deserves to inherit what was built on lies? The screen went dark. Morrison looked at me. You're going to that DNA test? I looked at the summons. 9 a.m. Downtown courthouse. Mandatory appearance. Do I have a choice? My phone showed one final message. From Mom. There's one more thing you don't know. Something about December 14th. Come home. Alone. Before tomorrow changes everything. I looked at the basement one more time. At the life someone had lived in shadows, watching me perform above. Tomorrow, everyone would drop their masks. Tonight, I had to decide which mask I wanted to wear. The invitation wasn't just to a DNA test. It was to a reckoning. And I had 11 hours to prepare for war. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you really like our videos, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day.